I have been mentioning the Ziip device sporadically throughout the last couple of years in almost all of my skincare videos. And yes, this device has been one of the biggest contributors to lifting my face and keeping it sculpted and taking wrinkles away. But this is not the only reason why you buy the Ziip device. I want to give you the 4 different things that this device does for anti-aging. I will also tell you exactly how I use it, how often. We'll talk about all the gels. We'll talk about the clinical studies, the science behind microcurrent and nanocurrent devices. And I'll also be comparing it to other microcurrent devices like the NuFace, and also one of these very simple devices that pretty much resembles a gua sha. Yes, this device will give you a temporary sculpted and lifted effect of your face. But this is not why you buy this device. I think it's still a common misconception. I still get a lot of comments by people saying that this is what this does. And that's completely incorrect. The temporary lift and sculpting of your face is one of the 4 biggest anti-aging things that this nanocurrent Ziip device will give you. So this device actually has immediate result, which is the sculpting and the lifting effect of your face, but it also has a long-term result, meaning the longer you do it, the more anti-aging benefits this device will give you. According to the clinical study done by Ziip, one of the pleasant side effects is that it does reduce wrinkles by 28% in 6 weeks. The second pretty big impact of the Ziip device is that it does reduce acne and breakouts and irritation to the skin by 42% in 8 weeks. The biggest contribution and change to the skin of microcurrent and nanocurrent like this is the increase in ATP. ATP is the energy output of your cells. The more energy your cells have, the more energized they are, so the more collagen they produce. And you need collagen for the vitality and the health of your skin. So this is not just about looking young. This is about also looking healthy, having a better source of collagen production, having a better source of hydration for your skin. And because of increase in ATP and an increase in collagen production, just the overall boost of energy and ATP of your skin cells, according to the clinical study, the skin tone is improved by 13% in 6 weeks. And yes, the instant and immediate result of doing the Ziip device is actually a more sculpted and lifted face, which to some extent only is temporary. But clinical study shows that actually 87% of the people who tested this device for 6 weeks saw a more lifted and sculpted face in 6 weeks. Because of the increased collagen production, increased ATP of your skin cells, yes, your skin will get a little tighter, so the appearance of your skin will be eventually more lifted and more sculpted. I very often get this question: how do I get this jawline? We can all agree that I do have a very pronounced jawline. I know a lot of people will say, well, this is genetics. To some extent, it may be genetics because I'm of European descent and my face is very kind of pointy. But I do have to mention that this is not how this jawline actually looked 10, 15, 20 years ago. I think with time and doing specifically this device and some skincare, the jawline, the sharpness and the definition of the jawline actually has improved over time. I will try to dig up some photos from 10 years ago, 15 years ago, although I've been in corporate finance all of my life. It didn't occur to me back then to take a lot of photos, but I'll dig up some photos and you can clearly see in the photos that my jawline is not exactly that defined. The trick is actually over time to define your jawline without losing any fat in your face, because the minute that you start losing the fat pads in your face, the face will start to look a little deflated, and we don't want that look. We still want the fat pads to remain here, but we do want that definition here. You know, the model look. And no, this device will definitely not destroy the fat pads in your face. And anything below 400 microamps, when it comes to microcurrent or nanocurrent, does not destroy fat pads. It's scientifically impossible. This device actually fluctuates between 100 and 400 microamps depending on which area of your face you're working on. I think this is the benefit of this device because no other microcurrent device on the market does that. If I have to compare it to the NuFace device, this is great. This is what I started with actually, but this operates at a stagnant 400 microamps, and you have to be very careful if you're using this device. You have to be very careful to use it around the eye area when the skin is more fragile and you don't have that much fat, so you don't want to burn anything unnecessary. But this device, because it fluctuates depending on which area, there is no danger. In other words, it's one of the safest devices on the market. So how often should you be doing this? As I mentioned, the microcurrent, the nanocurrent from this device increases ATP charge of your skin cells, which is the energy output of your cells. That ATP charge lasts for 3 days, which technically means that you can allow yourself to do this device once every 3 days instead of every day. Now, I do recommend you do this device every day if you are just buying it. Do it every day for the first 30 days. So you can start training your muscles at least. This is not even about the ATP charge. The ATP charge will be constantly charged because it lasts for 3 days, but this is more about training your muscles. And then after 30 days, maybe you can continue doing it every other day. This is how I did it when I started back 5, 6, 7 years ago, but I did it every day for 30 days. And then I started skipping once in a while. Now, because it's been 6 years, I actually do this device once a week just to maintain. Unless I feel extra puffiness, I have days that I either slept too much or too little and then I need a little bit more of a wake me up, then I probably do the device a little bit more often, but once a week for me, even once every other week now, it's enough. And yes, if you do this device every day for 30 days, there's no way that you don't see a difference, some kind of an impact after 1 month. And then obviously the longer you do it, the bigger impact will have. This jawline did not form overnight or over a month or over even 3 months. It took probably about a year to just kind of lift and sculpt my face. In skincare and at-home devices, you need consistency. What I like about this device is also the app. So this connects wirelessly to the app and you can select the treatment that you want from the app. This is the new model. I started with the old model, which was a freestanding device. You would just turn it on and there was no app. I like the convenience of the app because depending on which treatment I choose, this is the part of the face that I can treat. And also you can choose a very short treatment or you can choose a longer treatment. My favorite is the Founders because it treats the whole face, but occasionally I like the eye treatment as well. I do like the very quick one that's only 2 or 3 minutes. And sometimes I don't even do the app. I don't even follow the app because you do have the option of just pressing the button. So this turns on and you can just freestyle it and do it just a couple of minutes if you want, whatever kind of time you have to spend on this. It's very important to also mention that you absolutely have to use the gel. Now the gel is not just to prevent you from experiencing pain, because yes, if you don't use the gel, if you just do on dry skin, this will pinch you a little bit. This is microcurrent. It's current that goes into your skin. Using the gel will actually prevent pain. So if you apply the gel on your skin before you do the device, then you don't feel pain at all. You don't feel anything pretty much. But it's important to point out that this is not just to prevent pain. This is also your conductor. As we mentioned, these two balls here release microcurrent and nanocurrent. So that is current. These are current waves that go deep into the skin. And the gel serves as a conductor. So it connects the microcurrent through the conductor in your skin. So it's vitally important that you use one of the gels. The device already comes with one of these gels, the silver gel. It comes with a mini size actually, like this one. The electric complex, very pleasant, and you can buy it obviously separately. You can buy a larger bottle, but there's 3 other types of gels that you can get. And they're all phenomenal. Each gel supposedly does something else. I don't quite honestly see a difference. Yes, these 3 are better than the electric gel. They feel a little bit better on the skin, but also they kind of improve hydration of the skin. The golden one supposedly gives you the most amount of collagen production. It enhances the performance of the Ziip device. And it's also a very nice texture, but quite honestly, I prefer these 2, especially this one. The silver gel is my favorite one. It smells a little bit like cucumber. It gives you a glow. This boosts glow. I also like the crystal gel. This is organic ingredients only. This is the organic version. It's also a very nice kind of cooling gel. All of these are phenomenal. It doesn't matter actually which one you choose, but you definitely need the gel. So if you're a person who does not want to spend a lot of money in office procedures, I don't do any in-office procedures. I don't go to the spa. I don't do any lasers. And it's not only that they are expensive and painful, but also they usually require downtime. And the thing is, with in-office procedures like lasers and etc., you can't just do it once and be done with it. These are procedures that have to be done once every other month, or once every quarter, or at least once every 6 months, so you can actually see some improvement in the skin. The biggest thing for me is, I think I've mentioned this before, is the downtime. I do not have the time to sit at home and hide away in a corner somewhere with a hat and glasses and hide from the world, because I just don't want to do that. I've never had the luxury of downtime and free time. Now, if you are a person who does not mind wasting a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks out of their lives and do a procedure and then do it again, repeat it again and again every couple of months, then that's great. I am not, and I think most people would opt for something painless, for something that does not require downtime, for something that it's only anywhere between 2 and 10 minutes every other day or a couple of times a week. And if you combine this with the right skincare, because yes, you still need the skincare, but if you combine this with the right skincare and if you are consistent the way that I have been, I'm almost 50, I'll be 50 in a few months, and I don't do any procedures. This is the only device that actually got me to this and skincare, good skincare. I strongly recommend this. It's non-engaging. You can just at night or in the morning sit in front of the TV and do this. I've had quite a few conversations with Melanie. Melanie Simon is the founder and creator of the Ziip device, and we've been connecting via FaceTimes, and she's been kind of teaching me and showing me some tips and tricks on how to use this. One thing that I love more about this device compared to the Ziip device, obviously it's so much smaller, right? This is bulky and it comes in a smaller version as well, but it's smaller, but it's more powerful than the Ziip. And also the variation in microamps for safety is also important. But the one thing that I love about this is this, you kind of have to follow the beeps and you have to move it very slowly until you hear the beep. This, you don't have to. You can just do very quick moves and, you know, up and down. And Melanie also taught me to lean into it. So if I really want to sculpt this, you lean into it and you gotta even push while you're doing this. She also gave me a tip. We were talking about shows and TV and movies, and she goes, well, tonight, turn on your best show, whatever that show is. Have 20 minutes for yourself. Take the Ziip, apply the gel everywhere, watch your show, and while you're watching your show, just do the Ziip. Freestyle it. It doesn't have to be anything precise. It doesn't have to be anything controlled. It doesn't matter which side you turn it. Absolutely doesn't matter. And if you see, let's say, the founder's tutorial from the app one time, it will be sufficient for you to know exactly what to do next time. So you don't even have to follow the tutorial. You can just watch your favorite show and do this. This is what Melanie taught me. So yes, I don't like to do a lot of things with my skincare, with my skin, with my hair, with my life. But I choose the right things, and then I do them often enough and consistently enough, and eventually they do produce results. Because I like easy things, things that are not painful, things that are not that engaging, things that allow me to live my life while I'm also improving the way that I look. And with improving the way that I look, I obviously improve my confidence level, I improve my self-esteem, and I just love my life more. I strongly recommend this. If you have seen any of my videos, skincare videos for the last couple of years, you know that I've been talking about this device for ever since I started this channel about 2 years ago now. If you have any questions, please ask away, put them down below, and I will see you soon. Thank you so much for watching.